From the field to the studio to your ears and eyes, welcome back to the 816 Hour. Me and Keeg sitting down. Keeg, how are you doing today?
Great, here to talk some football. I feel like it's been a minute.
It's a pace changer from talking the baseball with Carter.
All over the place.
Completely just ready for football season.
Soon. I have a count on my calendar for the Hall of Fame game.
Can't say I blame you.
I don't remember how many days away it is, but I'm ready for Hall of Fame game. That's how prepared I am for football.
See, and I won't lie, Hall of Fame game is my least favorite game to watch every year.
Why?
No idea why. I hate the stadium. I hate the field.
Probably because they're playing a pretend game and you're just ready for football, and
and they're playing in a high school stadium.
True.
That's so bad. Have you ever been to the Hall of Fame?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you need to go. It's
so
so
weird. I've never
weird.
been to Ohio.
Off the highway, it's literally the Hall of Fame, just in this suburbs basically,
Really?
and then right next to it is a football stadium.
Okay.
Pretty nice football stadium, and then it's a high school. I'm like, what? Couldn't have thought of a better placement of stuff, but we're getting everyone ready for their fantasy football season.
Yes, sir.
Today,
a little early, but it's never too early.
What are you talking? You've already drafted a team. It's not too early for fantasy. It's not. Trust me. You got year-long leagues.
True.
You got psychopaths like you that have already drafted for this season.
You got dynasty leagues.
Exactly.
All over the place. You could never need enough fantasy advice.
That's facts.
Especially from us.
I mean, shoot. Combined, we have one fantasy championship in the fantasy league, as Carter has already forgotten to keep the video
'cause he's on his
going
phone.
on top. So I apologize for the visual. But we have one championship between us three in the 816 Hour in the boys fantasy football league.
I won a championship. You see me with that
boys fantasy football league.
That big little trophy, man.
Boys fantasy
what
football
did you
league.
win one? The year before last?
Yeah, last year. The year before Logan
shit.
did.
Are we counting fantasy baseball? Oh, wait, I didn't win last year. I got second.
Oh, you won't count fantasy baseball? Papa, me and Carter got rings. You better call us Tom Brady out there.
Goodness,
but no, we both sat down. We wrote down two names, fantasy sleepers, guys that aren't going as high in your drafts, or people that kind of just overlooked in fantasy. Mm-hmm. So, Keegan, start us off. Number one guy or number two guy you're targeting in drafts.
Number two. All right. Let's go with a youngster, second year in the NFL, wide receiver, Ronald Moore.
Ooh, Rondell Moore.
Last year, kind of 435 yards as a rookie, so not too bad of a year.
Bad.
Probably wide receiver 3 or something, Kirk, D-Hop.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the place, right? Well, this year you got D-Hop suspended for 6 games. Mm-hmm. Christian Kirk just got paid in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. So kind of, depth chart ain't looking too good going to week 1.
Marquise Brown looking good.
There you go. Traded for Marquise Brown. He's probably wide receiver 1.
Brought back Zach Ertz. That's another mouth to feed.
I forgot they paid him. But Ronald Moore.
They moved off of Chase Edmonds.
They did. He went to Miami.
They who was the running back they signed? Oh, I'm blanking.
James Conner.
No, I know they had
one?
Connor.
They signed someone?
Signed someone else. Who was it? Was it Damian? Damian Williams?
Ooh. Oh, they signed Daryl.
Was it Daryl?
They signed Daryl.
Daryl, that's what it was.
Ooh, forgot about that.
Daryl's in there, so he kind of takes over that third down receiving back work. That's a guy that, I wish I had him on this list, but Daryl Williams, if you haven't, target that man in fantasy.
A lot of receiving yards.
Great value. James Conner, can you stay healthy for a full year? Rondell Moore, it's a good pick. It's kind of... I just don't know how that offense is going to be without DeAndre Hopkins.
It could look ugly.
Marquise Brown isn't to the stature of being the wide receiver 1, in my opinion. He's not going to require that much attention.
Was the wide receiver 1 for a while in Baltimore.
You're not wrong, but
was never that true wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I was going to say
we've seen him be the wide receiver 1, but he hasn't put up wide receiver 1 numbers.
Very true. But I like Rondell Moore. I
think just a guy that could be sneaky. You missed D-Hop for 6 games.
With how
put up the stats,
with how high powered that offense is, how much they can stretch the ball.
Cliff Kingsbury,
yeah, Kyler Murray.
Kyler looking to get paid.
He's on a contract year.
Yep, hasn't gotten paid, so it could be a huge year.
Don't know what's going to happen. My number one guy, kind of a guy that I wouldn't really think I'd be talking about this year in fantasy, Hayden Hurst. He is currently tight end 25 for the Cincinnati Bengals. CJ Uzama, he's now in New York with the Jets. Hayden Hurst might just find himself in fantasy relevance.
I almost picked Hayden Hurst for a sleeper. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm excited. CJ Uzama last year, 63 targets, 49 receptions, 5 touchdowns. Okay, not too bad. Hayden Hurst last year, 26 receptions, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns. Obviously a lot worse. He's the tight end 2 in Atlanta to Kyle Pitts. Been a big fan of Hayden Hurst for a while. He's 28 years
Love
old.
Hayden Hurst.
I think he's gonna be the same thing Uzama was. Both of them are 28 years old. 13 games last season for Hurst. Obviously, like I said, behind Kyle Pitts. Had to fight for that. Struggle with injury as well. Joe Burrow, he threw the ball 520 times last season. Threw 34 touchdowns. The Bengals offense only got better this offseason. Better offensive line. What does that mean? Joe Mixon runs the ball more. Joe Mixon running the ball efficiently means what? Joe Burrow opens up the play action, opens up the field. Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. You still have that three-headed monster at the wide receiver core.
Not afraid that Hayden gets, lost in all, like you said, you got Jamar, T. Higgins, kind of all over the place.
Hayden Hurst is a better tight end than CJ Uzama, and I think
You're right.
Uzama can be a top 10 tight end in fantasy,
could become, Burrow safety blanket.
Very true.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I like it.
My biggest thing for this, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Hayden Hurst is going to be a tight end 1 by any means, but whenever you can wait until the 190th pick of a draft, that's undrafted in a 12-team league.
Yeah.
And you can get Hayden Hurst as a free agent without having to draft a tight end whenever you can.
High-powered throwing offense.
So other guys around this spot, or if I can draft James Robinson, Kenny Galladay over Noah Fant, who in my opinion will probably put up around the same numbers as Hayden Hurst, that's a lot better value than drafting Noah Fant, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, he opens this year against the Steelers and the Cowboys. 2 brutal matchups for tight ends because, the linebacking core for both those teams is wild.
Yep.
But the Bengals offense, high-powered. Defense isn't the greatest. I want any part of it.
They're going to be slinging that ball.
I want any part of that
definitely
offense.
Get a lot of targets in that offense.
But yeah, that's my number 1 guy, Hayden Hurst.
I like it. I'm a big Hayden Hurst guy for no reason.
I've been a Hayden Hurst fan. I don't even no idea why. The red hair.
He's been a big guy about mental health, and
Wait. Was Hayden Hurst the guy that hurdled the Mizzou player?
No, that's Max Williams.
Was it Max Williams? I knew it was one of the tight ends in Baltimore. Which they drafted so many tight ends. They had Mark Andrews, Max Williams, and Hayden Hurst under.
Any of them are there anymore. Oh, they used to have
Mark Andrews?
Besides
Baltimore?
Mark Andrews.
Oh, besides their starting tight end.
Okay, obviously the guy who had the best year last year. Didn't they used to have a... Oh, he might still be there. Why can't I think... Is it Nick Boyle?
Nick Boyle? Yeah.
Is
the
he
bald
still
guy?
there?
I think so.
Because that was like one of the tight ends of that little...
In that core?
Yeah.
Really. Second guy, I'll go Hunter Renfrow. Ooh. He's ranked as the wide receiver 41 in fantasy.
That's deep.
41. How? He finishes the wide receiver 10 last year. He's now being drafted after guys like Treylon Burks, who hasn't even stepped on an NFL field, having bad stuff come out of camp about his asthma and all that. Devin Singletary getting lost in that Buffalo backfield. Kenneth Walker and Rashard Penny, who we don't know if either of them are going to be running back ones, running back by committee, how that's going to be. Hunter Renfrow is a number 1 wide receiver on any fantasy team, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't understand. His numbers have only gone up since coming into the NFL. I understand that the Raiders did bring in Devontae Adams.
Yeah, how much is that going to take away from Tay? But you also got from Renfrow. But also, how much does Derek Carr throw the ball?
Derek Carr throws the ball a good amount. A good amount.
A little bit.
Hey, the Raiders defense finished 5th in the most points given up on a per game basis in the NFL last year, so obviously they have to sling the rock around.
Got to.
But the Raiders brought in Demarcus Robinson. They brought in Keelan Cole. They've already had Darren Waller. Obviously, we talked about
they brought D-Rob, man. Hunter's getting his spot taken.
Watch out. But my biggest thing is picking up Devontae Adams is only going to take attention off of Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
It's going to allow
People are
him
going to forget about him.
It's going to allow him to stay in the slot where he likes to play, where he runs the majority of his routes out of.
Not as much pressure.
Exactly.
Definitely kind of Clemson was that underdog wide receiver, and that's why he was so good.
Hunter Renfrow is what the Chiefs wanted McCole Hardman to be for the Raiders. Think about that.
Pretty much.
They have Devontae Adams,
wide receiver.
They have Devontae Adams, which is their Tyreek Hill, their number one wide receiver guy. They have a top tight end option in Darren Waller, like the Chiefs had in Kelsey. Excuse me. They wanted Hardman to be that guy. Golly, I just thought of that, but that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you got Tay, who you can
just throw it up to. I mean,
yeah, you do anything. But then you got a guy who can literally just kill the slot. And that's great to have.
Another positive thing I look at, Josh McDaniels. First year as the head coach there. Only 3 seasons Josh McDaniels has been an offensive coordinator or a head coach that his offense has finished outside of the top 10 in pass attempts. It's another thing to think about.
So you're adding Derek Carr with a heavy passing OC.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Since 2009, 13 of the 10 quarterbacks for Josh McDaniels have finished top 10 in pass attempts, basically, is what that was saying.
Yeah.
The Raiders, they're playing in the AFC West.
He did have that Tom Brady guy.
You said what?
He did have that Tom Brady guy.
Yeah, hey, he's okay. Offensively ranking, I looked at all of his, numbers. Dude's crazy.
Really?
He's not a very good head coach, in my opinion. He's a great coordinator.
Fair enough.
But, the Raiders playing in the AFC West, you're going to have to go against Patrick Mahomes.
Going to be slinging the rock.
Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, right there. That's 3 top 10 quarterbacks, honestly.
Obviously, I cannot wait to just, get a Sunday full slate of games. So I cannot wait for the bloodbath of the AFC West.
That's going to be exciting. It's going to be good football.
Every night is going to feel like a primetime game.
That's facts.
But I won't get too off topic. I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm
and
with you.
We're sitting here talking about football. How can I not
fantasy?
Be
That's whenever
ready.
it gets there. It's like the fantasy build up, then your draft, and it's like build up season.
I know, yes, because I'm like, fantasy comes before the season, so now I'm getting ready. But you're like, man, I just want to watch some football. I want to sit on my couch Sunday afternoon, just have a slate of games.
That's all it is.
You're going to bed that night tired from watching all the football. It's amazing.
It's a great.
I can't wait.
Great time.
We're so
great
close.
Time. So last 2 things I got: Raiders open the year. Chargers, Cardinals, not great matchups by any means, but those top cornerbacks are going to be taken off of Renfrow to go on Devontae Adams. I think both those games are going to be high scoring, especially that Chargers game. Chargers are mad they didn't make the playoffs last year. Cardinals game, Kyler's trying to get paid. I think that's another high scoring game. Biggest thing. There's no way Devin Singletary finishes with more fantasy points than Hunter Renfrow. Put my house payment on it, check on it. I don't know what I have to do.
Yeah.
Who's making these rankings?
That's
over
bad.
At Fantasy Pros. Not sitting here throwing shade because I love Fantasy Pros. They have great stuff. Great stuff. But I can't get behind wide receiver 41 for Hunter Renfrow.
That's too low.
But that
for a guy that you said finished wide receiver 10
wide receiver 10 last season.
That's disrespectful.
I just can't get behind it.
But
Keegan,
I don't like it either.
who's your last name?
The guy from MIZ, Albert O, the tight end. No, Bryson, how do you say his name?
Albert Okwuegbunam.
See, I'm not even trying to pronounce Okwuegbunam.
Why did
been a fan with him since. Did it stop?
No, we're good.
It does that thing where it stops for a second.
It stopped for a second and it got me scared.
It stops for 3 seconds, and I'm like,
it's like, oh.
And then it just keeps going. Yeah. We're having problems over here at the 816 hour.
Hey, it's a work in progress.
Always.
It's all it is. Just striving to get better.
We're doing what we love. That's all that matters.
That's all it is. Sure.
But, you move off Noah Fant. You get Russell Wilson. You get that big trade. So you get Albert O. They're ready to unleash him.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
Russ loves his safety blankets, like I mentioned. For tight ends can become that safety blanket. Russ loves his tight ends in ways. But
just say the last tight end that I can think that Russ kept fantasy relevant.
That's the thing. Not a guy that would completely go off, but is truly his safety blanket.
I get that. Okay.
So for Albert O, I think he could be a guy for a tight end that gets you a solid 10 every time he goes out there. Solid 10 points.
10?
You don't think so?
I mean, 10?
I feel like 10's pretty good, right? No, 10 solid points, 10, 15.
10's a lot for a tight end.
That's what I'm saying, like a little 10, because I remember I had
a little 10.
A little like.
You know how much I would wish, what I would do for Kyle Pitts last season to put up 10 a game for me?
Bro, Kyle Pitts.
Bro, I'm just saying, okay, so a touchdown 6. So that's 6, a reception's 1, and however many receiving yards you get is like 0.1 per yard.
I'm sticking with 10.
That's a
8,
lot.
9. Okay, a solid fantasy tight end.
How many receptions does AO get a game? On average, would you say?
3 or 4.
So you're telling me that's 3 to 4 fantasy points. He's putting up
one of them's a touchdown, and you got to add the yards with it.
60 plus yards.
He's gonna be. Oh my goodness! I didn't think about that. That is a lot, man.
Don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying. I think Alberto is
big red zone.
You think this will break?
No!
No shot. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Count.
2, 3, 2, 1. Dude, that's gonna hurt. No cap. Do I do it again? Dude, oh my god! That is so much.
You did this, dude.
I got hit with ketchup. I got hit with. I got Jesus, bro.